Welcome back, friends. David Torkington, A Brief Biography. Um, yes, I think always, if you want to have a good understanding of a text, spend a little time with the person who's writing it. His authority does not rest on abstraction, but on decades of immersion in lived Catholic traditions of prayer, direction, and the practical care of souls. He's a British theologian, a spiritual writer, and a retreat master, and he's devoted more than 40 years to teaching and writing on the interior life. His spirituality takes place within the Franciscan tradition, with the emphasis on humility, poverty of spirit, and intimacy with Christ. Over the course of his ministry, Torkington served as director of the Catholic Renewal Movement in England. He was a lecturer and a retreat master. He has a long engagement with the mystical doctors of the church, and it's a developing element in his biography. So he's not merely familiar with Teresa of Avila or John of the Cross, but with the broader Carmelite school, and that's where Dan Burke is going to butt into that. He spent decades studying their writings and distilling their principles. Another central feature of Torkington's spirituality is his resistance to trends that reduce prayer to technique. He consistently warns against approaches that prize novelty or emotional experience over fidelity to tradition. And this puts him squarely with the classical view that prayer is first and foremost a loving communion with God. And as he writes in Never Too Late to Love, the spiritual life is not an achievement, but a gift.
Mhm.
Those who attend his retreats often testify that Torkington brings clarity and hope to souls who feel stalled or discouraged. He helps people rediscover silence, recollection, and the simplicity of surrender. And his pastoral sensitivity is one of the reasons he emphasized that it's never too late to love. Never too late to begin again, no matter one's age, wounds, or perceived failures. I have a reflection question for this section. How might God be inviting me to rediscover the simplicity of prayer through the wisdom of those who have walked the path before me?
Yeah, he's just a powerhouse. There's a video series that he is doing on teaching people for contemplative prayer. It's free. Hopefully, you can probably put that up in your
Mhm.
in your notes. And I've been going through them, and the one thing that I note about him, number one, it's always very pleasant for us in America to listen to a charming gentleman with a British accent, right? So it makes the medicine go down nicely, as Mary Poppins would say, right? But it's that he exudes a quiet joy. It emanates right through the camera. He just is a joyful man. And, we know that the joy of the Lord is our strength. And it's not artificial, it's not contrived. They're just, and he's an older man, he doesn't need to be doing this anymore. He's been fighting the fight, he's won his own particular race, but he still has a zeal for the Lord. Even now, even after 40 years of trying to in this very dark world, right? There's only one thing that could keep somebody doing what they are doing of 40 years, where it really feels like we've been wandering in the darkness for so long, and to do it with joy. And that is, you can really see that there, and as you were saying, reading in this, they're just, his words are there. He's very much like Jacques Philippe, I think, in that sense, right? That his words are profound in their simplicity.
Mhm.
You're not trying to figure something out as you're reading him. It really is a very tender, gentle, easy message, very simple to very approachable. There's not anyone who cannot read what David Torkington has written and feel like they're overwhelmed by it.
That is right. That's right. All right, friends, let's pick up in the next episode. We're going to go straight now into the outline of the book and the thesis statement. Till then, Fides et Ratio.